What's up, guys?
Hey!
Welcome to the Jeremy
Carey.
Ask Us
Anything.
show.
We have all the answers.
Why do you keep saying that? We have the answers to your questions.
We have the answers to your questions, and maybe it's not even the answers you want to hear, but
Here they come. What do you do for pre and post nutrition?
pre and post nutrition. There are some days I simply have nothing pre. In fact, I prefer to not eat before I exercise. Now, with that being said, I've been hungry before.
Well, I think we need to clarify what nutrition is.
Ooh, food.
Is it?
I think food. Anything you're putting in your body that has some sort of caloric.
Supplements?
Right, has a caloric value.
So supplements or food?
Supplements or food. So, since we are going to talk about that, supplements, because that is a part of it, I will say that I sometimes exercise in the morning, and so there are oftentimes I will have maybe a hit of caffeine and some BCAA. Sometimes we call those branched chain amino acids, probably all the time. And I will take a hit like that if I know that actually I take that anyway in the morning. I just do a hit of caffeine and some BCAAs because why wouldn't I?
Wow. So when you say a hit, like, do you take it through the nose or through your mouth?
A shot. It's usually a drink. It could be an espresso shot.
It's just an interesting way to say, like...
Yeah, hit of caffeine.
Got it.
So
It's a gym rat thing.
it is a gym rat thing. Well, I'll actually, I'll have that and I'll work out with something like that. So that could be a pre-workout, if you will. There's other things I do take specifically for pre-workout, but food, not normal. Now, I know I'm all over the place maybe, but there are a few things that I can take in and make my tummy not feel like I'm empty, if you will. Probably, yes, absolutely give me a little bit of energy to push me through for the exercise. But I do not feel like at this phase in the game that I need a big meal or something before I exercise. Again, it all comes back to timing. I could go all over. I think I am all over the place with this one, Jeremy. Where are you?
It kind of depends on timing of day when I work out, but I like to work out in the morning with no food, so I don't eat anything. I always do start out with caffeine just to get going.
Fashion.
So as always, I like this when I drank some nitro cold brew before I went for a 4 mile run. So that was really nice. And then actually, it's already 10:30, and I haven't eaten yet today. So it'll be nice to have my first meal here in a little bit.
Okay.
But then later in the day, I want to have some food in my stomach, 2 hours prior my weightlifting session.
Okay.
Something like that. So I usually
So
have
you're very in tune that you're going to eat 2 hours before a weightlifting session.
Yeah, because I would time, it's depending on how focused I am on what it is that I'm doing. When I'm really hitting all of my time sequences to maximize my workouts, it's going to be geared around, and this actually helps me manage my day better and my life better, my relationships better, because it's food and supplementation, because those dictate my mental state and the physical activity and my energy state and how I show up for people. So for me, it really builds off of those cornerstones. And so if I do pre-workout supplementation for performance or post-supplementation, it'll set me up to have a great workout and recover. But post-workout, I like to do really good protein.
Okay.
If it's like steak or meat.
So food, not shake.
I like to do
food, not shake.
I've been mostly doing food post-workout, and so and in the summertime I've been doing more fruit, which in the winter I don't do that much fruit, but my activity level increases during the summer and the heat season. And so I really like peaches right now and watermelon.
Wow.
So I'll add that in post-workout, all that good stuff. So
awesome. So, obviously being a competitive athlete, Jeremy, myself, there are absolutely performance. Jeremy, you kind of touched on it, like timing of meals. for the most energy, for you to maximize, right, the results that you're looking for. So timing then becomes crucial in the way that you eat and how you distribute that throughout your day. So, you know, and then we get into sleep and all the other things. But for food, you know, I always say to your best performance, you want to be able to have more of an empty stomach so that you can perform. However, so is that 2 hours prior to eating? This is individual a little bit, so you kind of have to play with that. What food is okay for you to eat, you know, 2 hours before you hit a hard metabolic conditioning piece, weightlifting piece. Usually when you're weightlifting, you can eat a little bit closer possibly to your session. However, when you get into those metabolic conditionings longer, you don't want to eat too close. You don't want your body focused on digesting and taking the energy towards that digestion process. You want it to go to those muscles and fuel more of the mindset, and then into the body and your muscles and how you're performing in that regard. So, and then post, you know, we say there's a nice window that you want to eat that post workout. So when I'm performing, I like to do a shake first, and that is simply to get in that recovery drink. So that could be, and I, you know, again, go back to the supplements, definitely a protein, but then I'll also put in some recovery aid, might be a rehydration style drink with some branched chain amino acids. So this is like 30 minutes after, or whenever you can manage to get it, usually 30 to 45 minutes, but then real food within 90 minutes. So now I'm eating a real meal with maybe that steak, sweet potato. So it's a combination of my protein, carb, and fat that's gonna, you know, put me into a state of recovery, fuel my body. I don't have to think about food for probably 2 to 3 hours after that meal, which sets me up in my tone to eat. Maybe we say all your macros throughout the day, making sure you're hitting that so that, again, you can have the best peak performance that you're optimizing. So that's timing.
I think that what we have to do is learn, adapt, and change. It's not per workout, it's over a period of time. So looking at 21 days of testing food and seeing how you feel, and it's not just because if we get stuck in the day, moment after moment, it'll be very random. So even for 21 days, journaling what you eat pre and post, and trying to create a rhythm and a cycle that best works for you, and adding and taking away. So individualize is very important. These are key areas that you can start to test on. So I would at least try 21 days, and over time, as a mature athlete as myself, you kind of figure out what best works for you. And that's my best game plan to share with you, is figure out what best works for you.
Awesome. And guys, ask us.
Next question is, what is your workout schedule specifically? And when do you do, what do you do on your rest day?
There's something called #Never Miss a Monday. I absolutely believe that Mondays are a day for exercise. Like, it just sets the tone, it gets you back in, depending on your weekend, what you did, whether you took Sunday off as a rest day or not. But Monday is a day I like to go in and I like to do a good workout. Right now I'm performing Murph on Mondays as a kind of a challenge with my husband, but that's been a great start to the week. And I really try and do something Monday through Friday, go by Thiel, and you know, meaning like if you're exhausted one day, maybe your workout intensity changes. And then on a recovery day, mindfully stretching, and the reason I say that is there will be some recovery days that I might just go about like cleaning and activity and hanging out with my family, but stopping and reminding myself that, because the next day might be a workout day, if I don't do that, I kind of feel stiff and kind of like, I don't know, you feel better when you move consistently. So recovery days should be light movement, but I think that we also have to remind ourselves that that's intentional movement as well. Kind of mean you show up and grab the lift off go workout off your phone or whatnot, but it is intentional, like I'm gonna go for a walk and then stretch 5 minutes. That could be that recovery rest. So being intentional about that.
For me, you know, during this time of quarantine, post-quarantine, really working out for me, it helps me to manage stress. And so working out first thing in the morning, some sort of activity is very important for me. And then if I want to focus on doing strength, it'll be after 1 o'clock. So I tend to like to lift weights after 1 o'clock, but do something more high intensity earlier in the morning, and it clears my head and gets me to focus. And so I like to do that during the week, 5 days a week, and then Saturday or Sunday I'll do a longer, like a 5 or 6 mile run, more of a moderate to slow pace. Just more is actually kind of like a stress reliever. But I would say definitely right now been working out 6 to 7 days a week, and determined. But I wear the Whoop band, and the Whoop band actually gives me data feedback on my recovery, green, yellow, or red, and my heart rate variability, my sleep patterns. So I can also choose the variability of intensity depending on the data that's being given to me. And so if you want a Whoop band discount for a month, holla at your boy in the comments. I'll send you a link for a free month and a band.
Sweet.
Next topic, coffee. Yes, no, maybe so. What's your thoughts on coffee, and what's your word to the peeps?
When I think coffee, there's a couple of things: ritual, also taste, right, and caffeine. So, in what order and why is it important? I think they're all really great. I like to just sit down and have a cup of coffee. Now, with that being said, I've been known to, I love that coffee so much, but I'll take that coffee and maybe I'm headed out the door, and it's not as enjoyable for me. In fact, I forget about it. I move on to the next thing. There's something about having a warm mug of coffee, sitting down, whether it's journaling, reading, listening, staring, whatever. But then I have coffee for like ice cold coffee. That's going to be on the go, drink. It's more fun. Caffeine, I think, is great. I think a little jolt of caffeine is good. Now, it's not good for everybody, and I realize that. And I also realize that we can get in and drink too much of it, and all of a sudden I'm depending on it, and it doesn't allow me to even rest, have a restful sleep. So, like Jeremy mentioned, the Whoop band. So, what time are you cutting yourself off? How much really are you drinking? And I'm just going to go into this. Yes, I think that we should all eliminate completely, yes, 100%, for a certain amount of days to kind of cleanse our body from caffeine, and then we reintroduce it back in. So I think there's all levels. I like coffee. I drink it for all those reasons, and I haven't cleansed in a minute. It might be time to cleanse from some coffee.
To me,
It's
coffee
true.
is all about experience, and I like to think about the pre, the middle, and the post, and what type of experience that I want to have with drinking the coffee. Because
It's very intense.
whenever you invest in your coffee portfolio, it must be more than just a drink,
Yes.
right? And so I think very intentional about what I'm going to be going into the coffee consumption with. Will I be drinking it with food, which will decrease the impact of the caffeine? Or did I eat an hour prior, drink it post, and then am I going to go do activity after? So like this morning, I drank nitro cold brew from the gym, and then went for a full mile run, and then came over here, and I actively chose not to eat food because I'm still riding that experience of clarity from this morning.
Got it.
Versus if I'm going to have coffee with cream and honey for more of a pleasurable enjoyment, but if I'm going to read the paper or some news post that, it's going to be more of a tame. And so I have my different brews. If I'm going to have espresso, nitro cold brew, or a regular cup of joe, and then if I'm going to add coffee and honey to it as well. And so I have different experiences for each purchase or the way I'm going to make it. Coffee, yes. Then you just look at the quality coffee as well. But pretty much on all sense, I'm going to have coffee.
Boom.
That's what's up.
Coffee's intense, man.
It is. It's a definitely
big topic.
Definitely a passion of mine. With that being said, guys, thank y'all so much for the questions this week.
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys, and we'll see y'all next time.
2 1 2 1